Hi there, it's Damien from Anton. I'm going to talk to you about servicing your instruments. It's one of the things we get asked all the time. Where do I send it? How do I send it? What do I need to do? So we thought we'd give you a quick video that explains all your options and what you can do about servicing your analyzers. So whether you've got a V, an Evo or a Pro, the principle's all the same. We quite often get asked, I only use it a few times a year, does it really need an annual calibration? The fact is it does. It's a bit like when you get your car serviced, there's scheduled maintenance that we need to do on it. So each year we might be replacing a sensor or other components. If you don't do it on the scheduled intervals, you end up getting out of sync, and sometimes people think, oh, I'll leave it a bit later, I'm not using it, think they'll save some money. It ends up costing you more because you end up having to replace components that would have actually had some lifespan left in them. So always try and keep it on that scheduled service every year, and that way you're going to get best value. And it doesn't matter if you use it 10 times a day or twice a year. We have to replace those components at certain times. They're a bit like a battery. They have a certain lifespan, and we have to keep it on schedule. So that's the first and important thing. Currently, we can service all three of those models I mentioned: the V, the Evo, and the new Pro. The V range, it's currently February 2020. We can still service and calibrate V range at the moment, but some components are getting lower in stock. Things like displays, we've actually run out of on V range now. So whilst we can service and calibrate, check with us if you've got a V range and you're a long way beyond February 2020, because some of those we might not be able to service them any longer. So give us a call and check first. Phone number if you want to is 01923 274730, and ask for service and we can let you know what we can do. Okay, so if you think about your options, how can you get it to us? How can you get it serviced? We have a flat fee on Pro, Evo and the V, provided we're still doing them, of £99 per annum. Occasionally, I think it's every 6 years with V and Evo, and every 5 years with Pro, there's a higher charge. It's a bit like a major service on your instrument. It's like, think of it as like a cam belt service on your van, where we have to replace everything in it, and that's a double charge at that period of 198 plus the VAT. A lot of people at that stage, they've had it a while, they'll end up sort of trading it in for a new instrument, and talk to us if you want to do that, because we can always find you a good deal. Okay, but it's important that, you get it sent in. What I will say is you can send in just the instrument, so just the handheld, this piece. Obviously, if you're sending it in directly doing packaging up yourself, that's easier because it's easier to package up. But we recommend you send the whole kit, so all your probes, your chargers, even your leak detectors, things like that, because we will test everything, and it doesn't cost you any more or less if you send in the whole kit. Often, if there is an issue with an analyzer, it's usually the flue probe, not the analyzer itself. So if we see everything, we can make sure we can test it together and make sure it's all working perfectly. It just you get better value for your annual calibration, basically. So obviously it means a bigger box, but we still feel it's worth it. So that's one thing to consider. Okay, so you've got some options. Most people drop them into their local merchant. So whether it's an independent or a big national chain, drop it into your merchant. It's convenient. You're in there anyway, buying your pipe and fittings and spares and what have you. They can then take care of it, send it back to us, and we'll deal with them on your behalf. The convenience there is you can just drop it and let them deal with it, but also when it's returned, you don't have to be in. They can take delivery of it and you can go and collect it when it's convenient. Okay, so that's option one. The price is the same whether you do this or one of the other options. So you can send it to us directly if you prefer. Obviously, it's not convenient as dropping it into your merchant, but a lot of people like to do it because they know it's gone. The day you've posted it, it's coming back to us. So the one thing I'll always say is package it up well. Make sure you get some bubble wrap or some protection around it. Again, send the whole kit back if you can. I know it's slightly less convenient and need a bigger box, but we recommend it. And always use an insured courier. So I don't know, special delivery, for example. These are expensive. You don't want to get it lost, in transit. That does happen occasionally. The courier we use is insured, so when it comes back to you, so I definitely recommend you use an insured one when it's coming to us, because ultimately, until it's back with us, you are liable for it getting to us. So, special delivery, you can insure it for the value. We'd always recommend that. What information the third thing you can do actually is you can send it to, we've got a number of Anton approved service centres. So there's about 7 or so dotted around the UK and Ireland. you know, obviously, if there's one local to you, that might be a convenient option for you as well. So we're trying to give you some choice there, so you can choose which service works for you best, and it'll be the same price whether you use any of those three options. If you are returning it to a merchant or to us directly, it's really important that we know if there's anything other than it just needs a standard service and calibration. So if you've got any concerns about it, or it's done anything strange you'd like us to look into, make sure you let the merchant know so they can make a note of it when they send the unit into us. Or if you're sending it to us directly, we need a note from you with that information on it. Obviously, we also need your contact details. So again, when you send it to us, we need to know who it is. We're not mind readers. So if you can put in a piece of paper, name, address, email, phone number, anything that's going to help us get in touch with you when it's ready, or if we've got any questions for you, that's vitally important, because we do get a number sent back with no information and we don't know what to do with them. What you can do is we've got a service request form on our website, and I'm going to show you that now.
Okay, so here we are on our homepage, which is anton-group.com. If you want to go to the contact page, first of all, just to show you on here, there's the address that you would need to send it to. Just say for the service department, there's the phone numbers if you need to get in touch. That's if you want to send it directly. Going back to here. So yeah, at the top on the navigation bar here, you've got a calibration page. Now there's lots of useful information on this calibration page. It's all about service. There's some frequently asked questions there, so if you've got any questions about service, you might find your answers along here. So but a lot of what is there is covered in this video. But if we go back, calibration, service request form, here it is. So you click on here and you can fill this out. So contact name, company name, address, obviously there's the contact details we talked about earlier, telephone number, email, serial number, the model, reason for return, and any other comments. So it gives you an opportunity to make sure that you cover everything we might need to know. And on there again is the address for return service should you wish to do so. There is also, if I go back to the contact page, there's a duty of care bit of information here that tells you a little bit about common things. So if it's not a standard calibration service you're thinking about, it's a you've got a problem with it, you can obviously refer to this and it will tell you a bit more. It might well be that you can resolve it yourself without having to send it back and have the inconvenience and cost of sending it away. Also, if you go onto the contact page again, by area, we've got the contact details of the various sales managers for each of the areas. Now, again, they can help you, usually over the phone. We can get people up and running without the need to send it back if you've got, there's a sort of common issues that we see. But fundamentally, that's what you're looking at, that service request form. And obviously, if you're not using that service request form, you're just writing it down on a scrap of paper. This is the sort of core information that we need. You don't have to use that form. The service request form is actually also on our Sprint mobile app, and if you can print from your phone or tablet, obviously you can create that same annual service request form from there. So hopefully that's useful information. If you've got any other questions about service, give us a shout. But hopefully that answers a lot of the things you might need to know. Thank you.